Hello, friends. 690 days of war between Russia and Ukraine, and there is no sign of any ceasefire in near future. And at the same time, the war zone starting from Palestinian land, Israel, and up to Yemen, encompassing most of the part of Middle East, where UK and US too have joined, looks like escalation. In southern Ukrainian war zone on Kherson front, no significant changes. Ukrainians are having trouble in crossing Dnieper River due freezing on water surface. However, Russians have managed marginal gains in the eastern part of Krinkyvillis. On Zaporizhia front in Orikho sector, combat operation in Robotin, Novoprokopovka, Verbov area continues. One of the Ukrainian channels says that Ukraine has almost retreated from main line of defense between Verbov and Novoprokopovka. Russians have also advanced west of Verbov. In northern Kupiansk front, there were a number of Ukrainian attacks towards Sinkiivka but repelled. However, Russians are unable to advance any further, probably due to exhaustion and planning regrouping. And as of now, only positional battles taking place. Towards Liman direction, Ukrainian counter-offensive towards Dnipro and Serebryansky forestry were repelled. Fight continues near Yampolovka, Makivka and towards Terny salient, no changes. In east there are changes. On Bakhmut front, fight continues towards Klishivka, where Russians have pushed back Ukrainians from some of the heights. Kurdyumovka direction, fight continues where Russians are attacking from north, south and east directions. In northern flanks towards Bohdanivka, Russians carried out assaults and expanded their control zone and also advanced towards northwest forest area. Counterattacks continues in Kromov direction. However, Russians advanced 200 meters despite all hurdles. Russians also made gains towards Krasnoye by 200 meters. On Avdiivka front, severe fight continues for Stepnoe where Russians have advanced close to 250 meters in the eastern side, and also fight continues towards east of coke plant where Russians have advanced from the northeast sides towards water treatment almost 250 to 300 meters. They have made some marginal gains towards Pirvo-Maisky as well. On Maryinka front, Russians advance marginally towards Georgievka, that is west of the city, and also towards Novomikhailivka in the southern part, approximately 100 meters. North of Soledar in Seversky salient, Russian army after reaching on the outskirts of Spornoe, which were 2 to 3 days back, retreated due Ukrainian offensive counterattacks, and as of now there are no significant changes. On interdiction missions, Russians after a brief pause carried out attacks with UAVs and missiles deep inside Ukraine. Many targets were hit like in Kiev, Dnipropetrovsk, Kherson, Sumy, Nikolaev, Kremenchuk, Poltava, even Ivano-Frankivsk. Kinjal missiles were also used using 10 Tu-95MS and 5 Tu-22M3 strategic bombers. Former Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister Anna, talking about Russian offensive, says the goal is now to deplete us as much as possible so that we cannot create reserves of ammunition, can't prepare equipment and are mentally broken. They act in such a way that we don't have time to recover. Further, she says, same time, Russian army saved their personnel by using tactics of assault in small groups for which Ukrainians are forced to spend a lot of shell. She is very right and understand what is the meaning of war of attrition. Information related to Palestine Israel Yemen war. Global protests against US UK bombing in Yemen is rising, and especially in United States itself. Blinken, after completion of his Middle East tour, says surprisingly that no more war and no escalation of war in Middle East. While immediately after United Nations Security Council meeting on first strike, US launched immediately on Yemen with bombs. In fact, third wave also took place, which hit many targets in Yemen. That includes Hadida port as well as Sana'a airport. However, report says the damages were minimum as Houthis had taken precautionary measures and vacated those areas. In last 2 days, IDF has made some gains in the central Gaza, nothing to report from north and south. IDF is also bringing reinforcement at occupied Golan Heights and on Lebanon border, fearing escalation of war. US announced disappearance of 2 sailors at Somalia coast on 11 January. Houthis at the same time had claimed to have shot down an American helicopter. You must be aware that American journalist Gonzalo Lira, while under detention by the SBU in Ukraine, was tortured enough and he died. And that's all for the day, friends. See you tomorrow. Thank you.